Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. The vast majority of watches that I review on the channel, I review only once. There is a select group, however, that I felt had been worthy of a double dip, and an even smaller selection of special watches that I've gone back for a third look at. One of which is Stratton's iconic TV-cased chronograph. I first reviewed the Stratton Special back in 2018, then went back for another look at it 18 months ago when they launched the version 2 in new colorways. Today, middle of 2024, I'm back to look at another selection of new colors. You saw the pop-up? This video is sponsored by Stratton. I will of course therefore leave a link to the Special on their website in the description of the video. I will also leave a discount code, Just One More Watch. That gets you 10% off the Special or anything you like from the Stratton website. It's not an affiliate code, there's nothing in it at all for me. There is, however, a 10% discount in it for you. Let's flip the camera and have a look at these new Specials. Alright, let's get into it. I cannot show you the retail packaging because I was not sent the retail packaging, but I was sent this rather attractive Stratton watch roll. Carries 3 of your watches, Strattons or otherwise. These can also be purchased from the website, link in the description. Now there are 5 new colours being launched in 2024. There is a green and gold, there is a blue and orange, a black and gold, a plum and off-white, no less, and a sky blue and brown. I have got 3 of them in the roll today. I have got the plum and off-white, the black and gold, and the sky blue and brown. Now, you may have spotted already, they're not all the same. These 2 have day-date complications, this one does not. That's because these 2 are mechanical, and this one is not. Stratton are a bit of an outlier, especially amongst Microbrands these days, because they offer several of their models with a couple of different movement options. You can pick the one you like based on your budget and based on your preferences. The watch on the left is powered by the economical, reliable and accurate Seiko VK67 Mecha Quartz movement. The watch on the right is powered by the legendary Valjoux 7750, and I do not use that word flippantly. They have been making these for around 50 years. It is one of the most iconic of all auto chronos. However, there is a bit of a difference in the price between these 2. The Mecha Quartz is priced at $499 before any discounts, so $449 after discounts. The Valjoux is priced at $1199 before discounts, so $1080 after discounts. Double the price, more than double the price of the Mecha Quartz, but then again, I think that's actually pretty fair for a Valjoux 7750 in this day and age. There are also a couple of resulting differences between the dimensions of the 2 watches, so let's do both. Let's start with the Mecha Quartz, 41.8mm in diameter, 14.3mm thick, but with a lug-to-lug of only 40.9. One of the big advantages of these TV-cased watches is a super compact lug-to-lug because they're basically square. 22mm lug width, which is entirely appropriate given that square chunky case. Weight as supplied on this rather attractive bi-coloured rally-style leather strap is 91 grams. 100 meters of water resistance, screw-down crown, very nice piece of double-domed sapphire crystal, and as discussed, Seiko VK67. Now the mechanical is the same diameter, so 41.8, but it is thicker, 15.8. These Valjoux are tall movements. They are nearly 8mm high before you start adding crystal and case backs, etc, etc. It's rare to find a Valjoux in a case under 15mm, and not in this case either. Same lug to lug, same lug width, but different weight, 118 grams. Water resistance, everything else is still the same. I guess then you do have a price consideration, but you also have a weight and wear consideration, given that the auto is a little bit thicker and considerably heavier, a third heavier. You don't get to see either movement though, but you do get this rather attractive screw-on stainless steel, heavily etched and stylized speedometer style caseback. I believe this Speedo is based on the one in Kyle's race-prepared vintage Alfa Romeo, don't you know? Case finish is really simple on all of these Specials. It's the dial and hands, that's where the fun is today. High polished silver. Now the gold ones are coated IP gold, then coated with a scratch-proof coating. They're all scratch-proofed. I have run several of these Specials long term and I've not managed to scratch any of them, so it is effective. Lovely integrated piece of sapphire. You get that vintage distortion at the edges,
Great clarity though from the top, and it's a screw down crown. It's a kind of twisting etched pattern in the end there, Stratton logo on the tip. The rally straps are really nice on these. I do like this colour scheme, really does pick out the colours on the dial perfectly, and the underside is that bright blue to match the stitching, to match the hands and the tips of those indices. Nice hardware, double retainers, one fixed, one mobile. Let's go macro and have a quick look at the dial and hands. Let's start with the quartz. It doesn't have the day-date complication obviously, but it does have a little bit of extra verbiage on the dial in lieu of it. Stratton logo, Special and Mecha Q. Kyle doesn't over-brand his watches, he does it rather subtly. No brand name on the dial, for example. You've got those three classic square sub-registers at the 12, the 6 and the 9. Now both of these, the auto and the quartz, are both 12-hour chronographs. You've got a ticking small second at the 6 o'clock, 60-minute chrono timer at the 12, and 12-hour chrono timer at the 3. All indices are applied high polished silver with loomed center sections. I will show you the loom later on. Fairly slender handset, great chronograph hand. That central hand really sets it off. I love the fact that they've used the same color for all of the hands on the 3 sub-registers and that central chrono hand. And there is a tachymeter scale on the chapter ring if you are actually using this one as a chronograph. Autos are the same apart from the day-date complication, with a brushed frame around that complication. Now I did ask Kyle why he had chosen to put a brushed frame around the day date when all of the indices and the hands are high polished silver. He said it was to pick out the brushed upper bezel surface. So there you go, it's not random, there was some conscious thought behind it after all. Personally, I'm digging the black and gold colour version. Kyle shows a black and gold Mustang, a retro Mustang on his website when he's highlighting this model. Me, obviously go straight to the John Player Special Lotuses of the 70s and 80s that had exactly this colour scheme, minus the orange of course. On wrist, it's a fun piece and it actually wears rather well on my average size 7-inch wrist. This is the Mecha Quartz, obviously, slimmer obviously and lighter obviously than the Auto. Great straps on these. Normally I don't go for 22mm lug width. Pretty much my entire collection is 20mm between the lugs. But this just works so much better, provides a little bit of extra comfort and security of that case when it's on your wrist as well. That is doubly applicable for the Valjoux powered one. I think I've got an extra notch in here because you don't want this one bobbling around. 120 grams, nearly 16mm thick. It definitely has the capability of doing that if you don't wear it appropriately. Still looks great though, and I do like this kind of sky blue and brown. Goes nicely with that tan strap. Overhead legibility is not fantastic, to be honest, particularly in this sky blue colour version. Silver hands against a sky blue dial, not the best. They're not particularly thick hands either, so if legibility is a factor, perhaps go for one of the darker dials. You'll get a bit more contrast that way. Alright, moans and niggles. Well, to be honest, it's not a watch that has a particularly broad appeal to begin with. I mean, how many other TV case chronographs in this 70s style can you think of? Yeah, me neither. And then the appeal narrows even further by some of these ever increasingly bright and vibrant colorways. The plum and blue looks great, but are you going to rock this one with a suit and tie on a Monday morning to your big office meeting? I'm not sure. And then there's the loom. It's rubbish. This is the third time I've reviewed the Stratton Special and the third time I've said that the loom is rubbish. Come on, Kyle, you've been making these things for 7 or 8 years. Why haven't you put more loom on the hands and the indices? The hands in particular. Fully charged with Duracell batteries and my UV torch, they're gone within 10 minutes. There is a little bit of practicality here because of the water resistance, the sapphire crystal, the scratch-proof case, but it takes a hit in that regard because the loom is just so poor. But if you can live with that, then these are a lot of fun. I can understand why it's his biggest selling model, and I'm sure he will continue to do more and more colour versions of this one into the future. So there you have it, Kyle and Stratton's most popular and most successful model, with good reason I think. There's not a lot else out there on the market that looks like this one, particularly in some of those now rather unusual and rather vibrant colours. I love the way he offers 2 different movements as well, depending on budget, depending on your preference. And you know what? Just over $1,000 for a Valjoux in 2024 is actually a pretty good deal. I reckon you can sign me up for another look at the Special.
in early 2026. If you've made it this far, you are clearly a fan of the brand and the model. Why not check out my 2 previous reviews? Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next one.